Hey guys, this is going to be my reaction to The Gifted, Season 2, Episode 4, Calamity. So, the last episode, which is a couple weeks ago, attempted, before our sisters tried to tempt Lauren into joining the Inner Circle. That was because of the fact that she was being, through Andy and their psychic connection, and her trying to not go to sleep, led her being sleep deprived, almost being tempted, and kind of being like in this almost like strung out and just like wandering around the city, just trying like have tempted to go to the inner circle just to find some kind of measure of peace until Reed talked her out of it, and saying how the music box from the Fenris twins would also, was kind of corrupted him, or like sent some like tempting subliminal messages to him. Like he listened to the box and understood the temptation, and so they finally agreed. And so Laura decided to take some of Reed's serum, which is why I'm kind of surprised they didn't try doing that earlier. But I guess half the episode and drama. You saw a flashback to Erg being betrayed by her human lover back when he was working with Evangeline, being sold out to Sentinel Services, why he, part of the reason why he was living underground, he was reluctant to work with other humans, until Caitlin was trying to get some medical equipment to treat Glow from the Morlocks, while Marcus had to give blood because he's the only one that shared the specific blood brand of glowing blood. It slowly kind of helped him get over his bias of, humans after his bad experience. And, Lorna went into Max's room, part of the hit squad that Reva put together, and to find out what their ultimate plan was. And it turns out they plan on, leveling the White House, the Capitol building, and the Pentagon in order to have this, revolution in DC, and basically having how they're going to establish their mutant homeland by basically leading a coup and overthrowing the government. Told Marcus about that. Max found out that he was starting to figure out someone has been in his room because he's been so hyper aware of from his time in prison and when people go in and out of his room. He was suspicious of. Naturally suspicious of Polaris, since he was the one who constantly asked him the most questions about the stuff they were doing. But she was able to come up with a alibi or a ruse to say, is like, hey, I'm Polaris. I'm, the daughter of my father was a member of, former member of the Hellfire Club, basically royalty. So you better watch who you're talking to. And using her powers to hack into the security cameras, she was able to give a timetable to Marcos, and when he goes out to get alcohol, Marcos tried to ambush him, but it led into a confrontation in which Marcos was injured and was barely able to make it out alive before the car exploded, killing Max. But with him dead and unaccounted for, it's surely going to blow Lorna's cover. And the question is that once the cover is blown, how is she going to be able to save herself from being executed by Reva for her?
You are a failed, two-bit opportunist. You saw the wave of anti-mutant hate after 7/15, and you have been trying to ride it to fame and fortune ever since. Well, I've got great news. I'm here to help you. Mr. Ryan, I have been looking for someone like you. Someone with your need. Someone with your raw ambition. And not to mention your face is wasted on the radio. How would you like to be the most important man in America? I can make it happen.
How exactly would you do that?
Well, let's just say that I have abilities, gifts.
I'm not working with a mutant. I'm a patriot.
No, Mr. Ryan, you are a salesman. And I've got something for you to sell.
Why is she helping him? What's the goal out of... Better explain in this episode.
You took your time.
Lauren found a A letter that my grandfather had hidden in a secret compartment in the music box. It was in German.
Our daughter found a secret message from your mass murderer grandfather, and you didn't think to mention it to me?
Things were happening so fast.
These are the kind of things you tell your wife.
Oh, better late than never.
On the surface is in danger. If we don't open our doors...
This is a community, not a refugee camp. People come here because it's a place where they belong.
Besides, we don't have the resources.
Then let's get more resources. There are people up there who hate mutants. They want to wipe us out. If we're only going to protect ourselves, what kind of community is that?
Mic drop.
There aren't enough good men out there, Mr. Turner. But you are one of the best I've ever met. When this is done, I promise you, you won't just have a job at Sentinel Services. You can transform it into what it always should have been, because you'll be running it.
How did Reva get the intel on the Morlocks when she attacked the underground leaders?
That we can help without compromising who we are and what we believe. I'm willing to listen.
Thank you. That's all I wanted.
Eric! What is it? What's going on?
Someone's in the tunnels.
Oh, the purifiers.
Sophie are looking. They need to push hard.
They ransacked the cashier's brain for hours, okay? The guy won't stop screaming. He didn't see anything.
Esme.
We're trying.
Try harder. Someone knew where Max was gonna be. I want to know who, I want to know how, and I want them brought to me.
She knows it was Lorna, but doesn't want to out her.
How many do you need?
Stay strong. Everybody down! Hold your fire!
What the hell was that? Jace, behind us!
Hold your fire!
Okay, that's an interesting
I got
power.
shit too. What are we doing down here? We're up against monsters.
It's a mistake.
No mistake. Your password, your terminal. No one else had access. Interesting that you were the one insisting that our security was 98% impenetrable. That it was almost impossible that Max could have been killed. You're trying to protect yourself.
Reva, I swear.
It was a risk, bringing you into the inner circle.
Oh my god.
The girls objected because the more technical aspects of your brain made it difficult, impossible even for them to penetrate.
Just ones and zeros.
I insisted that we needed your skills. I vouched for you. I was wrong.
Reva, I didn't do this. How can I prove myself to you?
That's just it. You can't.
What's Reva doing?
Well, it's already done. Sage is dead. I mean, they had to. She betrayed us. Max is dead because of her.
No.
Don't tell him. Don't tell. Oh god.
What's going on? Mason.
They booby-trapped the bodies. Halothane X gas grenades.
Who's left?
The gas got the others. We got him! Chris!
Oh my god.
Can anyone here fight? All the fighters are in the tunnels. Lauren, try to use your powers. I can't reach them.
Everyone, out of the car. Hands on your head. Eyes down.
We can negotiate.
This is your last warning. Leave your vehicle now!
How do they even know what's going on?
They're not gonna negotiate. And neither are we. Get down, all of you. What are you gonna do? Just do it! Come!
Get down, take cover!
Oh my god. Oh, damn! Come on. Oh my god. Come on.
Hurry, come on.
No, do not. You are not. Oh, no. Come on. You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. No. No. Oh, come on. You don't give a shit. Every time you do have this moment, you still go follow your convictions. Enough of this crap. So my thoughts are, and I feel like there's a few plot holes, given that Blake has the ability to open portals. She'd be able to open portals to places she's not familiar with. Why can't she just open the portals directly to the junkyard instead of having to have the Mutant Underground, you know, come and recruit them from the alleyways and getting caught up with the police and all this other and all that jazz? Felt a little redundant, but I guess it was to create drama. Give something for the other characters to do, and I guess because he had to witness, have John witness what was the apparent death of Blake. I hate that. I mean, if her death isn't solidify, look, I mean, her death. I mean, people have been. I mean, they try to say that this show is connected to the X-Men movie continuity. It's not. I doubt that. I mean, there was just something the producers said again for viewership, and it's like the continuity of those movies are already enough of a mess as it is. And of course, they're gonna get bought out by Fox, and so with Dark Phoenix being the last entry of that franchise. I have to look that up. I don't know if they're even going to bother to release New Mutants after after Dark Phoenix. It's a little bit disappointing just because of, like, regardless of how you feel, you know, people who worked on the movie put a lot of hard work into, you know, making the damn thing, and it was pretty much all for, you know, it's all for nothing if it doesn't get released. But anyway, I mean, I would say it's like, you know, with Blink being killed, you know, this doesn't solidify this. That this thing shows its own entity. I don't know what does. I mean, you could say it's like, oh, they changed the timeline, so of course you didn't see Blink alive in the little epilogue for Days of Future Past. But in any case, never bought this as part of that. Movie timeline was its own thing. Otherwise, you know, why else would the mutants, besides Blink notwithstanding, featured in the movies be embargoed? As you know, it was the same way that Batman and, you know, other heroes are embargoed in DC. They can't be used by well, at least not the Arrowverse. I mean, they have fruit. I mean, they're cool with them kind of using Batman, and apparently Deathstroke and, you know, Jericho and Ravager being villains in season 2 of Titans, but don't know how that works. But anyway, I like Blink. She was one of my favorite characters. I liked her especially in this season. She got a lot more sassier, more confident with her powers. When she wasn't as confident with her powers, and it has this whole kind of this little mindfuckery with Dreamer trying to manipulate her memories in order to get her user powers by thinking that she had the hots for Thunderbird, but then it eventually became a real thing. And it seems like, their love story seems to be more tragic than even Marcos and Polaris's, because at least Polaris is like was able to, she defected to she left the underground, but at least she's still alive and kicking, and is basically willing to defect back to the underground, realizing that she was in over her head, joining with Reva, especially since she's colluding with Benedict Ryan, the leader of the Purifiers, and an anti-mutant, what she calls a salesman. She helped him get into power, and now she's manipulating the Purifiers, and basically the attack on, basically orchestrated the attack on the Morlocks. I guess she was just using them to take her enemies off the board, or people that might be a threat to her, like the Morlocks. Trying to take out the underground. But I feel like we're not getting the whole story. I was surprised. The marketing was misleading and making you think that, Polaris is going to be outed and Reva was going to find out that she was the spy, but no, they made her, but of course they're going to think, but I guess it made, so it was misleading in a good way that made you think that it was Sage. And of course it makes sense considering it's like, oh, she's the only one that has access to the security systems, and not realizing that Polaris used her powers to manipulate the computer to figure out her password. But of course, she ended up being blamed for it, and I guess some kind of defense mechanism in her mind allows her from telepaths not being able to read her mind, and she ended up being killed, and I guess Polaris was so guilt-ridden that she unintentionally took the fall for her actions. It kind of cut away before as she was breaking down. You didn't think, is she going to tell Andy? Is she not going to tell Andy? But I think it's apparent that, from what I can tell, considering she can't maintain her composure, she's going to just break it to Andy, what's going on. I guess you can say, like you said, I hope they destroy that music box. It seems like Reed and Lauren have to come to the terms with the fact that it's they got to embrace who they are, but not necessarily be corrupted by their own powers, like the Fenris twins. And it's pretty badass that, Caitlin was willing to, just shoot at the cops and just drive through the blockade. But again, it was kind of obvious that the Morlocks' little hideout was going to fall to the Purifiers. First you think they were going to have a chance to flood it, because I didn't understand why I couldn't open a portal to that place, whatever, to flood the tunnel, at least for the sake of being able to make an escape. That was kind of a bit of a plot hole for me. Maybe maybe Blink didn't have to die, but I feel like they kind of threw some it kind of disregarded some logic in here in order for the sake of drama. It's interesting what this finale is going to build up to. What are Reaver's motives exactly? If she's willing to, like I said, I feel like there's got to be more to the story between this whole Benedict Ryan arrangement that those two have. But there are 2 more episodes left, and apparently this show is not going to go on hiatus. It just came back from hiatus, like some of the other Arrowverse shows apparently. So apparently they're not going to be back. Apparently the Arrowverse shows are not going to be back until the first week of March. And for a couple of weeks, it'll be interesting to see how many episodes they're going to play out. And I'm surprised by this. Those shows are already going on hiatus because it's March Madness is coming up soon. So I figured those shows would be off the air during that time, but we'll see. Looking forward to the last 2 episodes. They'll be building up towards a finale, a competition between Underground versus the Inner Circle. This is shame. Like I said, Shay went to be a great climax, final ending to this series, and I can't wait to see what it has in stores and what twists and turns we're going to expect. So, what are your predictions for future episodes? How do you guys feel about this episode? Leave thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.